Today, we have meteorologist Julie Durda standing by with a look at that forecast.
Hi,
Hey, Julie.
Hi, so we have the sunrise and want to show you this because a lot of people were sleeping. If you're just joining us, this is what you missed, but we were here. We saw it all happen, and basically we saw those showers and storms before you were waking up, and then we see the sunshine. Lots of sunshine breaking through some of those clouds out there, though it's still pretty cloudy from our Fort Lauderdale tower cam. More sunshine over parts of Miami-Dade, and for you in the Keys, we're still dealing with the storms. Temperatures upper 70s and lower 80s to get you out the door. As for the future forecast of these storms, we're expecting them again mainly to be isolated over southern Miami-Dade and the Keys today, unlike yesterday where we had all morning to warm up and then we had those afternoon storms. So today we will see more of the concentration of the storms over much of Miami-Dade and the Keys. As for rainfall, we are expecting the rain chances to be the highest already this morning happened, and then we'll see another round this afternoon. We are rain free in Broward County. Same for you across much of Miami-Dade after those storms did roll through. But for you in the Keys, we've got these downpours anywhere from Isla Mirada, Tavernier to Marathon, all the way down towards parts of Key West. So keep the rain gear handy if you're in the Keys. As for tropics, we're watching this area in the tropics. Again, we have at least another 5 to 7 days to track this area. Right now, it's got an 80% chance of development. More on this coming up.
Let's take a look at your morning commute. Here's a look at I-95 in Broward County in the Hallandale Beach area. The off-ramp to Pembroke Road there, we're seeing some congestion, but that area is really not too bad. Let's look at some trouble spots this morning. We're major crash-free in Broward County, so that's some good news. This is 595 eastbound between the Turnpike and 95. Speeds right now not pulling up, but I do have speeds pulled up for the Golden Glades interchange for our Dade County commuters. If you are just south of the interchange, the Miami Shores area heading southbound, 11 miles an hour is what you can expect. Let's look at some drive times. For our Palmetto commuters, northwest 154th Street to the Dolphin will take you 49 minutes. I-75 to the Dolphin will take you 50. Guys, be patient and don't forget to buckle up.
Thank you for that. And Julie, we are in that heart of hurricane season, and I remember living here through Katrina, and well, I was a little baby with Andrew, but I was still here. I hear the stories. My girl was like, it sounded like a tornado was in the neighborhood, or a train. No, she said it sounded like a train was coming through the neighborhood. So a lot of people have memories from those times, and this time of year gets a lot of people nervous.
Yeah, well, and just our local forecast, not even with tropical entities to these storms we've been seeing, is this stalled out front that brings us those afternoon storms with the peak heating of the day. So absolutely, Alexis, all of that to take in part. You know, Irma was our really last time for South Florida that was being braced with the possibility of a tropical system. And since then, knock on wood, it's just been these random areas of disturbed weather that have been bringing us showers and storms. And just like yesterday, because of the stalled out front, we're under the influence of the storm. This is the front that's been bringing those fall temperatures for the northeast, for the southeast. Oh, the dry weather, all of them having their pumpkin spice fun while we're sweating it out and we're getting soaked here in South Florida. On the lighter side of things, we do need the rainfall. Rainfall deficit is about 16 inches in Fort Lauderdale. The new rain gauge will come out in about an hour. So hopefully some of these downpours that we saw yesterday will be helping, and we'll add more to it today. Rainfall total accumulation from my radar from the last 24 hours was anywhere between 2.5 inches for much of Pembroke Pines, Davie, and towards parts of Plantation, Weston, and then we really saw the worst of it right over Miramar. Miramar received over 4 inches of rain on 75 Miramar Parkway. All the communities there into Miami Gardens got soaked. And then by the beach, we saw 2.5 inches of rain in Miami Beach, and we saw just about almost 3 inches of rain for parts of the Keys. And we're adding to those totals for the Keys this morning because that's where the showers are really isolated, southern Miami-Dade and into the Keys. So Broward County, you're seeing those lighter skies, dew points mid to upper 70s, winds anywhere between 5 to 9 miles per hour moving in from the southwest. Feels like temperatures not too terrible out there. It actually feels pretty nice, and it's all thanks to the early morning storms we saw and overnight storms. Broward County, since about midnight, you've been dry, but for you in southern Miami-Dade, we've got those showers around. We also have a few showers by Saddle Bunch Key, No Name Key, Duck Key, as well as Isla Mirada. So these storms will continue to contribute to a very unsettled weather pattern, but the models are definitely in a better agreement that the storms today will be over southern Miami-Dade and the Keys. It will not be nearly as widespread or numerous showers and storms, though it's been raining since about 2 o'clock in the morning for the Keys. and more rain is still moving in. As for the threat, this is what we're talking about. We just talked about thunderstorm activity. Lightning is very strong with all the humidity and instability in the atmosphere. So remember, thunder roars, I need you to get indoors. But as for rainfall totals, this is how I know we're not going to see as much rainfall in Broward County, because my in-house model is showing 2 to 4 inches of rainfall for southern Miami-Dade and for the Keys. Regardless, any more rainfall over the saturated ground is provided for us to be under that level 1 flood threat today, tomorrow, and going into Saturday. Not a good day to head to the beach, my friends, with all this instability in the atmosphere. Low risk of rip currents for beach goers. Boaters, the bays will be at a moderate chop for you in the Keys. There is a small craft caution, especially because that's where all the storms are. For much of the Keys, watch out for the lightning, possibility of some water spouts. Have a great day.
Let's take a look at your roads. Let's start with Broward County. Here's a look at I-95. This is the off-ramp to Pembroke Road, where we're seeing some congestion, but it's really not too bad. Let's see where we're seeing red on our maps. That means it's pretty slow in that area. Eastbound 595. This is between the Turnpike and 95. That's pretty congested here. You could take Griffin Road if you don't mind stop signs and stoplights. 16 miles an hour is what we're looking at right now. Let's head down to Miami-Dade County. This is south of the Golden Glades interchange. This is the Miami Shores El Portal area. 95 through that area is at 7 miles an hour. You could take the Turnpike southbound for a smoother commute. Let's look at some drive times on the Palmetto southbound. Northwest 154th Street to the Dolphin will take you 52 minutes. I-75 to the Dolphin will take you 53. Buckle up, drive safely. Alexis.
All right, Saira, thank you. Hey, Julie.
You're right, it does, Alexis. It's almost like even if we had that crystal ball, we never know if it's going to be sunny or rainy. And especially here in South Florida, it could be rain on one side of the street when it's sunny on the other. And that's going to be one of these days today. We're transitioning into that weather pattern as the storms are pushing well south into southern Miami-Dade and the Keys. Temperatures upper 70s and lower 80s. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Key West. Look at that beautiful sunshine breaking through to our Hollywood Beach cam. We are going to see that chance of storms, though, returning to the forecast. Again, much of the precipitation more isolated today, expected to be over southern Miami-Dade and into the Keys, compared to yesterday, how Broward County got hit hard with that 4 inches of rain, as that radar estimate was in Miramar. As for temperatures, we'll get into the upper 80s and low 90s. Rainfall is across parts of southern Miami-Dade right now. Broward County, you are dry. So right over Homestead in towards Key Largo, in towards parts of Isla Mirada and Layton Key getting soaked, and Tavernier as well, and down by Key West. Let's go to the tropics. So we're continuing to watch this area in the tropics. It has an 80% chance of development. Early models have been showing some spin developing possibly by Friday night into Saturday, keeping the system more westward. And really, it all depends on what happens once it becomes something. There's nothing that's actually been able to become an invest. So once we do have an invest on this area, we'll be having more of an indication of where the direction of this may go. So for now, let's talk back to your forecast. I'll have that in 10 minutes.
All right, let's get a look at your roads. Here's a live look at I-95 in the Hallandale Beach area. Looks pretty congested on that off-ramp to Pembroke Road there. This is near the county line, so we're in Broward County, but not far from the Dade County line. Let's take a look at some trouble spots that I've been watching all morning, particularly this one, eastbound 595 between the Turnpike and I-95. Right now, let's see if we can pull up some speeds. 32 miles an hour is what we're looking at. That's not slow enough to need a detour, but if you do need to, you can take Griffin Road. Let's go down to some more congestion. Southbound 95 in the Miami Shores El Portal area, 29 miles an hour is what we're looking at. Northbound's just fine. Southbound's where you're seeing a little bit of a delay. Quick look at drive times for our southbound commuters on the Palmetto. Northwest 154th Street to the Dolphin will take you 46 minutes. I-75 to the Dolphin will take you 47. Buckle up.
All right, we are seeing some downpours in Miami, southern Miami-Dade, but right now, currently, you can see our Mount Sinai Medical Center camera just showing the blanket of cloud cover in the distance, but there is enough sunshine to bounce off our beautiful buildings. Look at Biscayne Bay, looks like glass. The winds are very calm. But boy, the damage is done yesterday. Look at the rainfall totals that we received, over 1.5 inches for parts of Deerfield Beach into Parkland. Again, this is the radar estimates all the way down towards Lauderdale Lakes, turning into 2.5 inches, Plantation, Davie, Pembroke, Pines, and then we saw 4 inches of rainfall over Miramar, right over Miramar Parkway, 75 in towards Miami Gardens, turning into 2.5 inches, and 2.5 inches for you in downtown Miami. So this is the story of us already being so saturated from the downpours we've seen since yesterday. More rain today is going to provide for the flooding concern Lower 80s right now, Miami, upper 70s, Fort Lauderdale, lower 80s in Key West. Dew points mid to upper 70s, so we are feeling steamy out there where we're seeing that sunshine. Though our winds are variable, look, they're moving in anywhere between 7 to 9 miles per hour. Feels like temperatures in the 90s in the Keys in between these showers. And you can see the showers and storms really focusing right over parts of southern Miami-Dade and into the Keys. Not much for you in Broward County, and that's because of the forward progress of these storms. They're moving in from the northwest to the southeast. So unless they start to lift a bit more north, I think Broward County and much of northern Miami-Dade will stay dry. Homestead, you saw a little bit of a soaking earlier this morning. Saddle Bunch Key, Duck Key, Layton Key, Isla Mirada, and Tavernier all seeing the storms. Stalled out front continues to keep us unsettled. Lots of moisture in the atmosphere. We're trapped ahead of the system. As for those showers and storms, scattered, not as numerous as yesterday. Same with going into tomorrow, but our biggest threat will be the lightning embedded in these thunderstorms, flooding and damaging winds. As for rainfall totals today and going into tomorrow, this is how I know Broward County is going to dry up, because our model is only showing about an inch, maybe an inch and a half, and then it turns into 2 to 4 inches of rain, southern Miami-Dade and into the Keys. We are under that level 1 flood threat today, tomorrow, and going into Saturday. 7-day forecast. Keep that rain gear handy. You're going to need it.
Here's another live look at I-95. This is in the Hallandale Beach area. We're seeing quite a bit of southbound congestion. Northbound's looking just fine. However, if you head north of this in Broward County, we do see some northbound congestion. Heading into Fort Lauderdale on I-95, that's where we're seeing all of this orange. Southbound's looking a little rough too. 21 miles an hour is what we're looking at. It's a little faster on the turnpike, but 21's not the worst. You can sit in that for a little bit if you're patient, but if you want to take the turnpike, that's probably your best alternate this time of the morning. Let's take a look at eastbound drive times on 195, the Julia Tuttle Causeway here. Things are pretty slow right now, 16 miles an hour. If you want a faster commute to head to Miami Beach, I suggest you take the MacArthur Causeway instead. Quick look at some drive times for our southbound Palmetto commuters. Southbound Northwest 154th Street to the Dolphin will take you 43 minutes. I-75 to the Dolphin will take you 44. Drive safely.
Saira, thank you.